Screamers are coming. They're men turned inside out. Their lungs blow up and burst. Their brains expand. And their bodies implode. And the worst thing of all is, they're still alive. Screamers. They'll turn you inside out. Screamers. Rated R.
Persons under 17 not admitted without parent or guardian starts Friday.
I'm screaming already because I'm so excited to be back for the second segment after watching Martin, one of my favorite movies in Sam's too.
Yeah, wow. Hope everybody else dug it. There's always a couple of things that I re-noticed in this movie. One of the things I said to Bill is that scene where Martin comes out of the clothing store after killing the two homeless guys and into the situation where the cops ride in. That's what everybody in the Pittsburgh suburbs thinks happens when you go downtown. They think that it's going to be that bad downtown. So a lot of people stay on their side of the bridge or whatever tunnel they're in. I'm like, I ain't going downtown. I ain't going down there. It's bad down there. It is, but it's not that bad, perhaps.
It's bad in a different way. It's not like you will stumble across these, also there's like drug dealers, a gang, and a guy who kills people with needles and slits their arms open, and they all converge with the police in a warehouse. A shootout ensues. That kind of thing doesn't happen every day.
No. I'm glad Mike liked it. Mike said it was great. First time watch. So awesome. Please let us know in the comments what everybody else thinks. I'm excited to see what everybody else enjoyed it or didn't. Hopefully you did. Bill and I talked about this during the movies, and I have my opinion. Interested to see what everybody else is the black and white scenes, are those in Martin's head, or are those flashbacks to a time that he really was a vampire? Because he's been alive, in the words of Barry Manilow, he's been alive forever. He's been alive for quite a long time.
Well, he's still a vampire. I mean, it wasn't like he was a
Yeah.
vampire in the past and he's not anymore. This is supposed
No,
to
but
have
it's
been
like
fast.
are those like the romantic times of his past. Also, my favorite thing about those is we obviously watched Vampire in the Ballerina last week. Those scenes look like an Italian Gothic. There's even
Yeah,
a girl in a white nightgown carrying a candelabra up a Pittsburgh staircase.
the kind of thing you see every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, wow, could this really happen? Bill knows where that house is too.
The house where the two people were killed, they were having an affair. That
Yeah.
ultra modern looking mid-century house.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say where because I don't want anyone driving by, but the address is on IMDb if you ever want to.
Also, how big did things to get into your garage look like? They were gigantic. There's the remote control. It's so big.
Can we talk about that for a minute? Like, that's
Yeah.
a total security risk. Like, was
Yeah.
that ever a thing where you could go buy a giant walkie-talkie with an antenna and open somebody's freaking garage door? God.
Did you think he bought that at that? You think you said this, that store that just sold hats in Market Square? Is that where he got that jammer?
No, I said it was at the place on Wood Street where they used to sell Techniques 1200s and
Yeah.
just like all kinds of like, police disco lights and stuff like that in there. And then they had all kinds of junk there too. I bet that's where
Yeah.
he bought it.
Yeah, probably. He was probably got screamed at on the other side of the street by that one religious guy that used to just stand there screaming.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. It's ups. Hi. Um, yeah, I think if he really was a vampire, he would have dealt with this a long time ago since he was supposed to have been 84 years old.
I really think that obviously we didn't know what it was back then, but he has a lot of autistic things in it. Like, for example, when he finally is ready to connect with people, he's very matter of fact about it. When he comes to the
Yeah.
one lady's house and he's like, I am prepared to have sexual relations with you now.
Yeah, he's like, you
Because
want me
that's
here
what
for
he's talking
sex, don't you?
Yeah.
He
And
needed
he
it
just like,
spelled out.
yeah, he didn't like coach any of it in like nice talk. He's just, do you know what I mean? And he wasn't being rude, but he's just like, you want to have sex with me, so let's have sex. So that's kind of how it was. We did ask. I see that Vince already answered it. What vampire movies do you like besides Martin? Tell us in the chat as we're going along. Does this fit into your top vampire movies? If so, we'd love to hear it.
Do you have a top vampire movie, Sam?
Yeah, we just watched it. Vampire. This is, and I really like Near Dark, obviously a lot too, and I really like the '79 TV movie Vampire that Vince brings up. I will also enjoy Ballerina and the Vampire we watched last week. Vampire and the Ballerina that we watched last week, and obviously Twins of Evil is a huge favorite in my world too. And the cliffhangers, Dracula is pretty rad too.
Curse of Dracula. That was re-edited into like this massive feature-length thing called Curse of Dracula, I think.
And because of Bill's enthusiasm for it, I enjoy the vampire movies of Hammer, where he has become a James Bond villain, where it's no longer good enough just to be a vampire. He's inventing plagues. He has armies of people working for him, and then he gets killed by a rose bush. These are the ones that I like, where it's like, what? That's how you kill one? Also really like the Japanese trilogy from the 60s, the Vampire Doll, the like those ones. Like I really dig those as well too.
Leave some for me.
Yeah, what do you like? But I know one you're gonna say, but I'll wait for you to say it.
Well, my favorite vampire movie ever is another 1979 TV movie, Salem's Lot, which also happens to be one of my favorite movies ever, and one of those movies that I think is still scary. no matter how many times I see it. I mean, you may not think it's scary or whoever, not you personally, but I definitely do it. It always gives me the creeps. The way their eyes are glowing in the dark like cats, and like the way their personalities change after they become vampires. Somehow
Yeah.
they're still sentient. They still remember people from their lives, and they still talk to you like they're human. But it's not like romantic. It's like they're creatures. That's
Yeah,
the
they're
difference.
almost like vermin kinda
Yeah.
once they turn.
It's like a possession movie almost too. You've become possessed, and now there's this demonic personality like Linda Blair's. I really dig Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
Hammer movies, like you said. The the one you were talking about was Satanic Rites of Dracula.
Yeah.
Also, I really dig Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. That's probably my favorite of the Hammer vampire movies, Dracula movies. And Scars of Dracula, which is
Yeah.
nobody likes. That seems to be or many people anyway don't like it, and they think it's kind of the worst of the Hammer Draculas. I love it because it has giant vampire bats in it, and I don't care if they look like stuffed vampire bats or not.
I'm shocked that you did not bring up, Lamora yet. I know that's a favorite vampire one for
Yeah,
you, as well as, Deathmaster and the 2 Count Yorga movies. I know you enjoy those as well.
there's just so many to pick
Yeah.
from.
I forgot
Nosferatu,
Valerie and Her Week of Wonders, which is kinda sorta a vampire movie too.
the original Nosferatu, and the '79 remake are both fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you think the new
Yeah, those
one's
are
going to be like?
I saw some pictures from it. I'm actually really excited about it. I like, that director, so I'm
It
interested to
could
see
be
what
good.
happens.
I really love The Witch.
Yeah.
I wasn't crazy about The Lighthouse, so Nosferatu
No,
could
but I
be,
love The Witch a lot.
yeah,
Like, I've
me
watched The
too.
Witch a bunch of times, so I'm excited to see what he can do with it.
I think if anybody's up for it, he is.
Yeah.
Just don't let
I
Ari
really like
Aster
the,
anyone win.
I can't remember the name, is the movie that's about the making of Nosferatu, if he really was a vampire. I dig that movie a lot too. I think that's pretty fun. Yeah,
Oh,
Chris
Shadow
brings
of the
up
Vampire.
Shadow of the Vampire. I really like that movie a lot.
I like that too.
David, I would say Life Force is a vampire film because it's based on the book Space Vampire. So I would say yes, that qualifies.
No, you did not miss the drink, David Gregory.
Yeah, it will be coming soon enough. But yeah, I really like this movie for its vampire. And I saw someone asked, like, did we bring up the dream sequences? Yeah, I think um, that's probably why I like that this isn't all in black and white, like that longer cut, because I really like the break between the black and white and color, and especially like
Yeah,
there's a moment when it comes really close when he's wearing his vampire costume and his uncle starts beating him with his cane, and it's like, oh well, that's and he's like, this is just a costume, none of this is real. It's like that's the time when it's like almost those crossover where we have all that fog and everything. I think too the there's I don't believe that there's vampirism. I just think that there's mental illness in this family, and that's the way that magic and religion are the ways that they deal with it. In the same way that I'm certain that most possessions were people that had schizophrenic tendencies or multiple personalities.
sure. Yeah, it's just the tendency
Bill,
to explain the things that you can't understand with the supernatural. I think that's what this
yeah,
movie is really about, and you hit the nail right on the head. It's just about a family that has mental illness. Like many families, I said this on the first segment, many families I know in real life, and
yeah,
it's not an uncommon thing. So this was George Romero just addressing this. I think he was definitely speaking about things that he experienced and things that he saw in his everyday life, even if it wasn't vampirism that he saw, obviously,
yeah.
and it wasn't. He never saw any zombies, but he found a way to talk about that stuff too. So I
The
think he's
line that
brilliant.
makes me think about it is whenever Kuda's like, he was my cousin's responsibility, but she couldn't handle it and couldn't deal with the evil, so she killed herself. Like maybe she was also had mental illness too. and that's what led her to kill herself. It wasn't the vampire. It was just that she couldn't handle. Do you know what I mean? Like she had problems too.
Yeah. Then that was just as scary as what he was
Yeah.
going through, thinking he was a vampire. Vince brought up something interesting, is that Let's Scare Jessica to Death and Martin both take place a lot in the daytime. A lot of the scary
Yeah.
stuff happens. So
Yeah, it's a great
that's
call.
true.
Yeah. I also like the idea too that whereas religion has led people to into strange places, their lack of religionness leads them to their death. Like if that woman had just called 911, like yeah, she would probably get in trouble with her husband, but she wouldn't die. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's
she didn't do it when she had the chance, because, and plus they
yeah.
were screaming at each other. They were telegraphing
Yeah.
all of their moves by yelling at each other behind that closed door.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's funny because it's like they're obviously relationship just a physical connection and not mental. Like do you know what I mean? Like they don't communicate at all whatsoever. They communicate the wrong way.
It's a
So
comedy of errors. That whole scene is hilarious. The way that Martin is running around that house like he's lived there all his life.
yeah.
He's like zoom, 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 and it was a weird layout. I couldn't tell where anything was in that
Oh,
house.
the steps are so high and the top that she's around feels like it's a giant circle. Like it's huge. It's really astounding.
Mark
But
Dockham wants to know if you like Billy the Kid versus Dracula.
yeah, I do. Yeah, just the idea of it is good enough for me. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. I like
You
it.
had me at John Carradine.
Yeah, John Carradine's in it. I'm cool with it. I really like the Santo Dracula movie too. I forgot. Sexo e Terror. That one's really good. Also, because Santo has built a time machine and goes to in the beginning goes and talks to all these important scientists, and nobody is put off by the fact that a shirtless masked wrestler is lecturing them about time travel. It's real fucking awesome.
It's just accepted that this is life. Some people wear masks
Yeah,
out
yeah,
in public.
yeah. That this is like, yeah. That's Santo is in it. He works for the police. He is fights monsters. Also takes the time 3 times in a movie to go have matches in Arena, Mexico, and has a girlfriend, generally a professor's daughter, a smart, available woman. You know, he's pretty wonderful. I really like what Leif said that 79 was the year of the vampire. If 81 was the year of the werewolf, 79 is the year of the vampire. That is completely correct. I think that's the same year that Cliffhangers was on too, right, Bill? So that could fit into that
I
list
think
he
so,
has there.
yeah.
Yeah. And I've talked about it before, but the 79 Dracula is it scared me as a child because it was the first time my mom talked about another man more attractive than my father. I thought I was going to lose my mom to Frank Langella. She would often talk about him. And now she says, "Oh, he's so old now." I'm like, "Well, yeah, mom, that was like 45 years ago. He wasn't really a vampire, you know?"
That's
But yeah,
ageist, Mom.
yeah. Uh, you know what? Nobody brought up The Hunger or Vamp yet, Bill, which is kind of shocking in the list of vampire movies.
There's just so many to choose from. It's one of the most
Oh yeah,
popular kinds of movies that there are.
yeah. And obviously, there's Lost Boys. There's even Lost Boys sequels. One of them directed by the same guy that made not Nothing Underneath, but the sequel to it, Too Beautiful to Die. He directed one of the Lost Boys sequels. It's real weird that he did it. So, yeah. Someone mentioned The Hunger. Okay, sorry, Bill, I missed it, but yeah. And I saw somebody mention Thirst too, which is a really good one too.
Oh yeah, I love Thirst. Thirst was another
Yeah.
one of those daytime vampire movies, and something that was on free TV that I thought, wow, I can't believe I'm watching a movie this good on free TV. It was
It's
W.
kind of technological vampirism too, like how they
Mhm.
have all the machines to determine them and stuff.
It anticipated the those food services where they bring you specialized diet to your house. They were on the cutting edge of this vampire
Yeah.
society. They're like, we'll deliver blood to you in little milk cartons
Yeah.
from cows that we keep on a ranch somewhere. Thirst
Like,
was
I really
good.
like Bram Stoker's Dracula a lot too. It's got some really cool. One of my favorite comic artists, Steranko, did some of the production design for it, and it's very hammery and Bava too within it. I really like that movie a lot. I saw that like I think twice in the theater actually. Yeah, Blade's pretty cool. Blade has the first. I actually like all three Blades, but the first one is so good. Um, Especially the blood rave scene is pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
that's the opening,
Yeah,
isn't it? Isn't that the first thing you
yeah.
see?
And Tracy Lords is in it. I mean, how can you not love that movie?
Is she? I forgot that.
Yeah,
Uh,
he chases her at the end back to Russia because that's when he says some motherfucker is always trying to ice skate uphill. That's my my
I don't
favorite
even
part.
remember that movie. I did see it
Oh
theatrically. I think the night it came
yeah,
out. I don't. I
yeah,
just don't remember that part. It's a
yeah. I
little
really liked it.
fuzzy.
Vince, good call on the animated Tomb of Dracula based on the Marvel comic. That's pretty fun too. It really takes some wild stories from the Marvel comic where Dracula had a son, and it gets really wild if you've read the whole series.
Didn't Dracula have a wife, Domini,
Yeah,
in Tomb of Dracula, or maybe that was
yeah.
his daughter? I'm not sure.
And there's his daughter is Satana, I think, or is she the
Okay.
daughter of Satan? There was it's wild because there's a period where Marvel, once the comics code allowed because you weren't allowed to have vampires, zombies, or werewolves until like 1975. And because of the comics code, that's kind of what put EC Comics down. Down. See, there's my accent coming in from Martin.
Nuh-uh.
Once they could, like all those Marvel comics, there was Werewolf by Night, Ghost Rider, Son of Satan, Tomb of Dracula. Frankenstein had his own book. Like it was pretty awesome. There's also a Frankenstein toy animated cartoon. It's like an adaptation of the book filtered through the comic. It's not as good as Tomb of Dracula, but it's still pretty cool. Laura said she was never turned off by vampires. They seem a little too obnoxious for me. Get over yourselves.
I can see it.
Well, there you go.
Vampires,
Yeah,
once you're eternal and you can bite people without you can bite without impunity, then you start to get a
yeah.
big head.
I also like Tom Waits and Bram Stoker's Dracula because I Becca says his lines quite often.
Actually, they're quite nutritious.
It's a pretty good role for him. Also, the it's really I think obviously he's what's his name Ted has improved himself quite a bit as an actor, but like he has some really bad line reads in that movie.
Who?
The one who plays Jonathan Harker, what's his name
Oh, yeah.
from Jonathan Witt? Yeah, Keanu Reeves. Yeah, he there's the one where he's like, "It is the man himself." Whenever he sees him in the street, and I just started laughing in the theater to how bad it is. But
Yeah, and the music
yeah,
of the night scene, he totally ruins it by going music.
yeah, music. Yeah,
Winona Ryder is no prize either with her fake English accent.
no, but Monica Bellucci's in it, and that was the first time I saw her, and I was like, "Wow, something pretty awesome." And she's one of the brides
I'm
of
cheating and
Dracula.
making a cocktail ahead of the drink segment because I'm
Way to do it.
thirsty.
That's the way to do it. It's interesting though that vampire. There's so many ways to approach vampires that it doesn't really get old. So there's also what's the one? One other one that nobody has mentioned. I was surprised. Kronos, the Guillermo del Toro movie, is
All
kind of sort of a
right.
vampire movie.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
Let Me In
yeah,
or Let the Right One In, whichever one you prefer.
yeah, yeah. They're actually both. I think have something. You know what? Someone is being very modest in the chat because they made a vampire movie and they're in the chat bringing up other
I
vampire movies.
know, God. What the hell
Yeah,
are we talking about? We have a director of a
yeah,
great vampire movie right in the chat, Leaf Yonker, who made
yeah,
Darkness.
yeah.
And I would say
Which
that
is
even if
super
you
great.
weren't here, Leaf, because I really like it.
Yeah, and and I am a. Why did I not mention female vampire or any of the multiple Jess Franco or Jean Roland vampire movies? I've really let everybody down. I'm really sorry.
Well,
Uh,
we can't remember everything at once.
Yeah. And
God,
Light brings up Blackula too. Blackula's another great movie.
Blackula, duh. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of my favorite
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
I love
My
it.
favorite thing about Gene Roland vampires are they come out of grandfather clocks. What? Where did this part of the mythos come out? And they live on beaches. Okay, cool. I'm totally into it. Whatever it has to happen.
Jean Roland.
John Roland. Yeah. No mention of Morbius. Not yet. I haven't seen Morbius yet, but sure. Maybe I'll watch it and let you know.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Remember when we talked about the Prophecy Bear t-shirt that we wanted?
Oh
We
yeah.
talked about that image that I made. I found it, and here it is.
Oh,
It was from when I
I'm
made the
ready.
ad for our 1979 yearbook special, which you can still buy on Etsy, by the way. No
Makes
longer
a great Christmas gift.
no longer on eBay, though. Don't look for it on eBay. I gave up on eBay.
Yeah.
But I can make
Yeah.
a great t-shirt out of this. So just replace the skull with the original Prophecy Bear image, and voila, there you go. The only thing is, though, I couldn't do a color t-shirt with this because you just can't. It's too expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. It's color
What are you
shirts are
looking
so
at?
expensive. Because it wasn't coming up on my screen. All I got was just the skull. I thought there was another image of we talked about like the bear coming over the DIA logo is another one. So I
Oh,
was seeing sometimes not everything comes up on this window and I have to look at them
that
on
is
my phone.
Grizzly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did do a bunch of stuff for that. No, but this was that was the eco horror issue. I mistakenly thought it
Yeah.
was for that, but this was actually for the
That's where
79.
my brain went. Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes some of the posters don't come up, so I have to switch the phone to properly view them.
Oh, whatever. I was just harassing you.
I know, but I love it. I love it. Um, yeah, some great vampire picks here. We haven't shown some of these, but we showed a vampire movie tonight. We showed a vampire movie last week too. So we showed the most like Italian Gothic, like traditional vampire, and then a completely untraditional
Ooh,
vampire in
I
the
thought of
next
a
one.
couple that we have done on this show that we didn't talk about. First, there was Last Rites.
Yeah,
Remember that grade Z? Well, I hate to say grade Z, ultra low budget. I think that's the appropriate
yeah.
term. Vampire movie where they're morticians. There are warring morticians and police officers. That was awesome. And the other one I was thinking of was Satan's Black Wedding.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Let me think. There has to be another one. I'm looking through the list of stuff we've shown of other vampire movies that we've shown. There has to be at least one or two,
What about
right?
Nightmare in Blood?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Nightmare in Blood from 77, I think. I know Vince knows that one.
Trying to see. That's here's a question to come back with for the next segment. What has been your favorite movie that we've shown this year? As this is the last episode of this year, I think that would be interesting to hear from everybody and see what you think.
If you can even remember what we showed this year.
You can use the letterbox list that's up on the site. You can look on the last couple movies.
What about Fright Night? Did anybody mention that one? That's a good vampire
No one
movie.
did. Fright Night. I like Fright Night 2 a lot.
Mm-hmm. We did that on the show.
Yeah, we did that.
Fright Night
That's
2.
one of Becca's favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, by the
Nobody
way,
mentioned
go ahead.
Dracula 3000.
Oh, or yeah. How about Argento's Dracula 3D?
I finally watched it. Oh boy.
It's special, isn't it?
It is special. Yeah.
Come on back, Dracula 3D.
Come on back. We're gonna have to show it, I think. We showed Dracula's dog too, another Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like Dracula's dog. It's not a dog of the week. It's a good one.
Oh, the Night Stalker. Great call, Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
there's
have
too
not
many
shown
vampires.
Vamp yet. John.
Vamp.
We have not shown. Yeah.
Grace Jones for the win.
Yeah. Mike put up a video from Vamp this week.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's been in my head a little bit.
Oh, Rabid. That's sort of
Oh,
a vampire movie.
that's a great
Kinda.
call. Yeah. You know what movie I would say, Bill, of the movies we've shown this year that I've thought way too much about?
What?
The Farmer. The Farmer. I have thought about The Farmer an awful lot. Like, I think if I watch it again, I probably will like it even more than I did the last time. Like,
Yeah.
there's something about it that I really dug. The new one with Renfield is the new one with Nicolas Cage. Um, it's all right. It's fun.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
a
watch
little
that
more
one.
superhero-y than but Nicolas Cage is wonderful in it, though. I will say that.
What about Last Voyage of the Demeter?
I haven't seen that yet. Is it good?
No,
No,
it's
I've
not
heard
good.
some people really dug it.
I know, and I wanted to like it so much, and then I watched it, and I was like, "This is terrible." Dracula is not a character in it, but
Mm.
he's just sort of like this mostly unseen thing that lurks in the shadows, and then whenever they need to do a monster effect, he comes out, and he just always looks like an animal, never looks like a human being until maybe like the very end, and even then, he doesn't look real.
Mm.
I didn't like it. So there.
Uh, I will also bring up Bela Lugosi meets a Brooklyn Gorilla. That's kind of a vampire movie. That's another one.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned Bela Lugosi yet.
Yeah, there's a ton. How did we get this far? There's I'm going through a list of top vampire movies that we maybe haven't mentioned, Bill, and seeing if there's any other ones in here. The Vampire Lovers. I'm sure someone brought that series up. I brought up the end one. Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Daughters of Darkness. I think that's another great one that didn't get brought up, which I really dig that movie a lot.
Oh, how about the Black Room?
Oh my God, how can we not? And Vampire Circus too.
Vampire Circus.
Yeah, Vault of Horror has a great vampire segment in it.
Yes.
The Amicus one.
House of Drip Blood.
Ganja and Hess didn't get brought up. That's a vampire movie.
Oh God, yeah. See, the list
Yeah,
just goes on and on.
yeah. Dead of Night's got that great, weird kid vampire in it. Let's see what else we got. Vampire Hookers. No one's good.
Vampire Playgirls.
Yes, I just watched that today. Vampire and the Playgirls. And can you guess how much I loved it?
No, I meant Vampire Playgirls, which was
Oh,
that
you know
MGM
what?
retitling of what is the movie? It says Satan in the title. Oh, the Devil's Nightmare.
Yeah. How could I forget, Bill? You could count. You could count Fascination as a vampire movie too. A really
Yes.
slow and beautiful one, but nonetheless a vampire movie.
Guru the Mad
Uh,
Monk. Mike
oh
Justice
yeah,
brought it up.
Monster Club. That's another movie I really like.
Andy
Uh,
Warhol's Blood, or Andy Milligan's Blood,
yeah, great call on that.
and Andy Warhol's Dracula.
Uh,
Oh, all the Mexican vampire movies are amazing. El
oh yeah,
Vampiro,
Nosferatu ones too.
World of the
Nosferatu.
Vampires,
Not Nosferatu.
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus. Yeah, those are all really good. I still can't believe that those aired on Chiller Theater, which is amazing. Let's
Hannah,
see.
Queen of the Vampires. She's
There's a
700 years dumb.
Rockula. No, nobody. Death by Temptation's another one I like. Let's see.
We already
My
have
blind spot is good.
we already have some picks for favorite Drive-In Asylum
Oh,
episode of 2023. Mike Justice
yeah.
said, "Look what's happened to Rosemary's Baby."
Oh, wow.
Was a fun watch, and I totally agree, of course. And there was another one too down here. Sorry, guys. I think I lost it.
If you already said it, say it again. So Bill gets it.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to pay attention and I lost it.
Let's see. I'm going through the 2000s vampire movies here.
Oh, Nadja. I forgot about Nadja. That's amazing. Did you ever see that one?
I've never seen that one.
Oh, it's good. You'll like it.
I will definitely check it out. Do you consider Jennifer's Baby a vampire movie? I don't. I think it's like a demonic movie on this list.
Jennifer's Baby?
Not Jennifer's Baby. Jennifer's Body.
Oh, Jennifer's Body. Yeah. I thought maybe it was a Rosemary's Baby.
No.
Sharon's Baby.
Put them together. Just do it like that. It's fine.
Sharon's Baby.
Sharon's
AKA
Baby.
poor Joan Collins.
Oh, there's the two Dark Shadows. House of Dark Shadows and Night of Dark Shadows.
Mm-hmm. Well, there aren't any vampires in Night.
No, you're right. But the first one, definitely. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. That was pretty cool. I like that.
Laura caught on to us with the Death Dream episode.
Yeah.
Which that's technically a vampire movie, I guess.
How did I not mention Glenn Danzig's Veronica by this point?
Oh, yeah.
Or the second one that's coming out on Blu-ray this month from Cleopatra, Bill.
What's that?
Death Rider. His second movie, which is a spaghetti western with vampires. He plays a character in it called Bat Bathory. It's great. If you like Jess Franco movies, it's great.
Ooh, Mary, Mary, Bloody Mary.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. That's another good one. Yeah, Jennifer's Baby is a sequel. Thanks for the cover, John. That's really good. We've talked. Mike and I have talked about it. I want somebody to make the vampire movie that they're making in Body Double. I want to see that vampire movie that they're making within it.
Yeah, finish it. Why don't you? Brian De Palma,
Yeah.
Are you listening?
Yeah. What are you doing now? Sleeping? Get up and start filming. Yeah. Start making something, Brian.
All right, we have to get on to the second movie.
Let's do it.
If we don't start talking about that, it's going to get too late.
We have a lot to say about the second movie, too. Screamers.
Well,
AKA Something Waiting in the Dark.
Yeah, this was sort of a movie that New World purchased. Roger Corman picked it up, and Sergio Martino is the original director, and it was an Italian film called Island of the Fishmen, which was sort of like a Dr. Moreau type film, and then Roger Corman picked it up, and he was slashers were really big. This was 1981 by the time, it's a 79 film, but by the time Roger Corman got it, it was 1981, like the end of 1980, and slashers were really huge. So he contacted Jim Wynorski, director Jim Wynorski, who made Chopping Mall and so many other fabulous films, like Shark and Saw Women's Prison Massacre, The Hills Have Thighs. That Jim Wynorski. Roger Corman got in touch with him and said, hey, make up a new ad campaign for this movie and make it look like a slasher. So they titled the film Something Waits in the Dark, and it looks like the trailer for Humanoids from the Deep, which it had just come out, apparently, since this was the end of 1980 when they came up with it. By the time Something Waits in the Dark was in theaters, it was January 1981. And
I also want to say that it was like the eyes from Creature in that poster. The Creature poster is very similar. And the footage with Cameron Mitchell and Mel Ferrer was added by Miller Drake to this cut in the beginning, the kind of treasure hunting sequence. That's new as well.
Yeah. So there was more footage shot for it, not by Jim Wynorski. He didn't make that footage, but Roger Corman paid for some somewhat expensive special effects for this 11 minutes of footage that he added to it and released it as Something Waits in the Dark. It didn't do any good business. They released it in Georgia and a couple other places with this title, and they had to come up with something different. So they tapped Jim Wynorski again. And look at it here, by the way. This is the stuff that it was playing with.
Man,
Amazing, right? Delusion. Amazing.
I've never seen Delusion.
It has another title. I can't remember what the other title is. Chat, let us know, because I know you guys know. And the sequel to Every Which Way But Loose, Any Which Way You Can.
Yeah.
That's all right with me. Any
And
which way
working
you can.
9 to 5. The game room opens at 3 though, Bill.
Yeah,
If,
I mean,
if you can get in there, get into the game room.
I'd go right for the game room, but I do love 9 to 5. I'd probably have sat and watched it at least twice.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like it's giving you the finger, doesn't it?
It does. It's like, hey, fuck you, I'm in the dark.
They were really pushing it with this ad campaign.
Yeah.
And they made it out to be like a monsters rape women movie.
Yeah.
Which
if
I
it
guess
finds you prey, all it does is kill you. It's going to finger your ass.
Yeah, it's really, that's not the kind of movie it is at all. So,
No, nor is it this movie either.
Yeah. This is the other campaign that Jim Wynorski came up with. Since it didn't perform well as Something Waits in the Dark, Corman got pissed and walked away from it. And he was like, here, you do something with this. So Jim Wynorski came up with this ad campaign, titled it Screamers, and shot a trailer for it that contained a whole bunch of footage that wasn't in the movie. And they made it on the sets of Galaxy of Horror. It was just maybe like, I don't know how much footage it was, but it wasn't much. And Rob Bottin came in and created this creature that was supposed to be a man turned inside out, which, sorry about this, Eldon Glenn mentioned earlier on a post about how he couldn't wait to see a man turned inside out in Screamers. And I had to let him know, sorry, that's just a bunch of bullshit. You're not going to see that in Screamers. But audiences were rioting in the drive-ins where it showed and where it didn't have the man turned inside out. So they decided to cut the actual footage into the movie. So whenever you went to see Screamers, and it had part of the trailer in it. Here's a drive-in panel, Sam.
Oh.
I know you're going to get excited about some of the movies that Screamers played with.
I mean, Godsend is pretty rad. Yeah.
I see The Howling.
An Eye for an Eye, the Chuck Norris movie, and The Howling together. Yeah. I really like Heavy Metal and Close Encounters. That's a pretty rad. You get super high during Heavy Metal and come down during
It's far out.
Close Encounters. Yeah.
It's a big.
Well, the night the lights went out in Georgia with Scanners and Blazing Saddles. What? Right?
I think there was a comment on the Groovy Doom page when I ran that ad that says, it looks like they just had a bunch of movies lying around and they threw them together.
But you know who did it right, Bill? As always?
The Dependable.
The Dependable. That they brought a fucking Elvis movie. They brought Trouble with Girls to play after Girl's Best Friend in Honeymoon Hotel. After everybody was done S&Fing, they were like, let's watch The King.
Could The Trouble with Girls actually have been rated PG?
Yes, it could have been rated G, for all we know.
That's what I mean. Like, it wasn't PG. It was a G-rated film.
Yeah. Also, El Rancho with Empire, right? And then Raiders of the Lost Ark, and they're like, hey, everybody go home. Here's this Bo Derek movie. That's a pretty good night at the movies.
I'm excited about it.
Mike made me laugh by referring to Bo Derek as the irrepressible Bo Derek.
Now, here's something to confuse the hell out of you. Look at this.
Huh. What are we?
I don't know what we're looking at. This is from February 1981, which is when Screamers came out. So, I mean, that's when the movie was reissued as Screamers. So they must have had, like, maybe they were even confused about what the title of the movie was, because they put both titles in this ad like it's a triple feature.
Yeah, doesn't Scared to Death have another title too? I thought it did.
Sinjanor?
No, Sinjanor, yeah.
I think Sinjanor was the sequel.
Yeah.
We did Scared to Death on the show too.
Yeah. This is a good double feature, actually.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder if that is Riverside Drive-In, Bill. Is that the Riverside?
No.
No.
It's not the Riverside from Vandergrift.
Oh, I wish. Oh. I can't hear her talk. Demonoids and screamers together.
I
Much
can
less
handle a
Graduation
man
Day.
turned inside out. Just don't bring that abominable hand into the picture.
Oh my god, the hand. What a great cut of just the demon's head. Just that picture right there is all you need. Oh my god. Wow.
It's just a great
Graduation,
movie.
Altered States, and Prince of the City is another wild. I don't know who's ready for a double feature. If you
It's
hate life,
a night of deep thinking.
yeah, it's like that's the smart people are going to that. I'm going to Demonoid Screamers and Graduation Day. Wow.
So here
Oh,
it is with a
film.
couple other stellar
I mean,
offerings.
this is date night right here.
It's definitely something. The
Yeah, it's something.
Brood.
The Brood.
Talk about a heavy
Mhm.
film.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, Eye for an Eye and Screamers is the kind of night the movies that I dream of. The Molasses 2x4 himself, Chuck Norris, and Screamers. You will see a Chuck Norris not get turned inside out.
No one's turning Chuck Norris inside out. Sorry.
No, he's not taking that.
He's not accepting that role. He doesn't read scripts where that happens.
No. Like, Chuck, we want you to get turned inside out. And he's like, nope.
See,
I'll
if
just kick
Bronson will
somebody.
do that shit, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Oh, man. This ad is great with all this. This is so good.
Wonder what kind of
They're
pants those
turned
are.
inside out, but they're still alive. And then they double down. Warning, you will actually see a man get turned inside out. And they knew it didn't happen in the fucking movie.
That's ballsy.
We were better ones. I also like that. Here's the best part of this ad, Bill. What do you think the best part of this ad is?
Directed by Dan T. Miller.
No, the fact that the screamer has his pants unbuttoned and his belt undone as if he wants to have sex with you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
happening.
It's heavy. He's like, this is what you wanted, right? I'm turned inside out. You asked for it.
Now my circulatory system and my ribs are on the outside.
Yeah. You can
And
watch me get hard in real time.
I don't know what happened to my brain. It's just kind of
Yeah.
like,
My brain's out. My face is a little weird. But yeah, this is what we're doing. I'm going to get you bloody.
you
Sorry.
could still love me.
Yeah. You said you'd love me no matter sickness and in health. Come on. I guess if you're married to the screamer. If not, do as you will.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, he's probably not going to get married again
No.
if she doesn't stay with him.
Yeah, that's Laura said it. That skeleton has a boner. He is very much like Eddie from Maiden. Yeah. He's like, invade us. He's very wow, up from the depths and humanoids from the deep. Man.
So they get right to it. There's another movie with fishmen and
Yeah.
humanoids from the deep, and
Yeah.
whatever
Like, you
that
know
thing
what?
is.
We promised they should have brought the ad back that promised humanoid from the deep style rape. And then if you didn't get it in this movie, you're definitely getting it in the second movie. And maybe a little in the third.
Whatever that thing is in Up from the Depths too. It's like a
Yeah.
giant catfish or something.
Yeah. Whatever you're into, we got it.
How about
Oh.
this?
Is Phantom of Terror the other Martino movie?
No.
What is that?
It's another Italian director. A very important Italian director. And this might be the movie that your parents saw so many years ago and couldn't
Oh
stop
my
talking about how
god.
bad it was.
Oh my god. Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
Yes.
Oh my ever loving God. Let's go to the Hartford. Let's work on a time machine right now and see. I can't believe that the Octagon. What a night at the movies. Like, hey, you just saw Screamers. You just saw one of the best movies ever made. How about Octagon? Yes, it's got ninjas in it. Let's do it.
This is handpicked for you, Sam
I mean,
Panico.
if you said, Sam, you know those stupid memes, tell me about you in 3 movies, I just clip this ad and say, here I am. I thought this was the Michael York movie that Martino directed. It's not. Ah, the evil humanoids from deep and screamers, Bill. The brewer always does it right. You've always shown brewer ads, and I know the
Mm-hmm.
brewer's gone, but setting my voice back in time, the brewer did it right.
The spirit lives on, Brewer Drive-In.
It does. And the humanoids from the deep is like, look, if you're a foreign investor, this movie was made for you. They're not human, but they hunt human women. For what? You know it. Like, bring a date. Also, their men turn inside out.
Yeah, this was the abbreviated tagline. It does go on to
Yeah.
say, not for killing, for mating.
Oh my god.
It tells you what they want them for.
Yeah. Oh, these screamers.
And I think we're back to Pittsburgh again.
I will say the cool thing about Screamers is it's got a great cast. And by that I mean it has a cast that I
in the first 10 minutes it has a great cast, and then most of the great cast is killed off in the first 10 minutes, and then you get the rest of the movie.
Yeah, you got
also
Richard
some
Johnson.
great people in it.
Richard Johnson's in it, Dr. Menard from Zombie. You got Joseph Cotton. You got Barbara Bach, pre Wife of Ringo Starr, not yet made Caveman, right?
Right.
And you got this movie is baffling because it is at once about fishmen, it's about Atlantis, it's about voodoo, it's about stealing gold. It's crazy.
Barbara Bach, straight off Great Alligator River.
Yeah.
But before The Unseen.
Yeah. There's also a priestess named Shakira, not the singer, but there is a priestess named Shakira
Not laundry service Shakira.
Yeah, who has prophesized that the island will be destroyed. Then here's what's wild about this movie, Bill. 15 or 16 years later, Sergio Martino is making TV movies. And he's like, someone said, why don't you ever make a sequel to Island of the Fishermen? So he did. The Fishermen and Their Queen. He hardly shot any new footage for it. It has like maybe 45 minutes of new footage, closer to an hour. And he took footage from this movie and 2019 After the Fall in New York and remixed it and made a whole, much like how Screamers is remixed. He took it again and redid it again and made this TV movie. It's got a man and his dog, fish people. It's got a queen who sings the theme song. It's got exterminator warriors. It's like a post-apocalyptic version of this movie that ends with a UFO taking kids into space. I love it.
Queen sings the theme song?
Oh, I know the queen of in it. The queen with the fishmen. No, it isn't like fishmen. Yeah, I would say if you want to see movies that make no sense, start watching Sergio Martino movies around like 89, 90. Because you'll get movies like American Tiger, and aka American Rickshaw, aka Miami Rickshaw, or an Uppercut Man, that make no sense. They're great. I love all the late, and he also did a couple erotic thrillers, which we all know are giallo. So they're pretty great too. So
didn't he make a movie that was distributed by Carlo Ponti? The people that brought you Dr. Zhivago?
He did. You know what? That trailer is fucking audacious. You know that he also did the one where they compare him where it's like every few years there's a horror movie that changes everything. And it's like Psycho, remember it has like all those in it, and it's like another one of his movies. And it's like they kept selling him like that. But I love when people are like, my other favorite beyond based on a true story, obviously, Bill, you know, is trailers that are like not sense. And the other one is like, hey, I always called this series Screw Alfred Hitchcock, where it's like the new Hitchcock, where Hitchcock is worried, or fake quotes from Hitchcock about Dario Argento are my all-time favorite. But yeah, Torso's trailer is
Roger Braden from Valley Nightmares ran a really awesome review of When a Stranger Calls, on Valley
wow.
Nightmares the other day, and it was just like this really nasty thing where they made fun of how fat Charles Durning was and how
Oh,
Carol Kane talked through her nose, and it was really nasty. But they also laughed about how somebody had compared the film to Hitchcock, which I have to admit I don't agree with any of the other stuff, but it is ludicrous that anybody would compare When a Stranger Calls to something that Hitchcock would have done.
no.
It's totally not a Hitchcock movie. Okay, I don't
Yeah.
like When a Stranger Calls that much, and I don't care. I understand it's probably better than I think it is, but it's not a Hitchcock film.
No, it's not. But you don't have to be mean about it.
No, this reviewer was an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, how could he have a problem with the fact that Charles Durning was a sexy, chubby daddy? That's just wrong.
I think it's just mean. You know?
Hey, why don't we do the cocktail segment
Let's do it.
before we forget? Sorry, tonight's show has taken on a shambolic nature, and it's our season finale. We're not
Yeah.
going to be on for the next couple of weeks.
I know.
Sad, but the absence makes the heart grow fonder. So here's a little Screamers cocktail brought to you by our own Sam Panico.
Oh, hey.
In a bigger boat.
We're going to need a lot. This is Screamers, a.k.a. Isle of the Fishmen, an Italian movie by Sergio Martino, re-edited in the U.S. Trying to think what goes with a movie about Amazon's gold fishman, a queen of the fishmen. Probably something that looks like murky, brackish water. That's what we got here. This is the Isle of the Fishmen. Let us break it down. Ounce of rum. Ounce of spice rum. Does an ounce and a half of amaretto seem excessive? Yes. An ounce of blue curacao. We got some lime juice, half an ounce, and some apple juice, 6 ounces. We've separated clearly
Your booze and your
your
juice.
booze and your juice. We'll do them one at a time. I was gonna flow them together, but let's do
First
one.
you put in your Windex.
First you put in your fish, then you put your island. Restaurant pour. You don't have to pour like that, but it does make you look pretty cool, I gotta say. Probably makes you look the coolest. I say until I spill this everywhere. Shake it up. The last drink of 2023, 2024 drinks are going to be all non-alcoholic. I'm joking. No way. They're going to have drugs in them. They're going to have pills in them. Here we go. This is a very fishy drink. Ooh. Take it to the rim with brim. I'm sure someone will hear rim in the chat room and be like, say something.
Come on.
All right. Beck is on a schedule. Pazuzu.
No.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm being dragged beneath the ocean. This is the most delicious drag beneath the ocean ever. Pazoos.
Shades of shake weight. Pazuzu.
Yeah. Pazuzu. Steve, thanks for putting it up in the chat. If you guys need any of the recipes, if you look on my letterbox, all the drink recipes are there, as well as all the movies we've shown. And there is a YouTube channel that has all the most recent videos that we've been doing since Becca started shooting them. I'm working on putting the rest up with graphics. So that's another project for the break. So.
BNS Movies cocktail page.
On YouTube. Just another part of our media empire that we're building here.
Our commitment to bringing you quality content.
Yeah.
To amuse you on a Saturday evening.
And Bill, I got a subscriber, by the way, from the last segment.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, our producer from from Resident Romero sponsored me. Very nice.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So super cool. Now I have to rate something from
Cheers.
it. I'll find out what he wants to rate. Guys, thanks so much for coming in. I'm super excited that everybody's watching this movie. I love Sergio Martino. I was asked him or Umberto Lenzi. I'm 100% on Martino. This sounds sacrilegious. My favorite Giallo director. Yeah. Strange Vice and Mrs. Ward's my favorite Giallo. Um, I love it. I love almost every movie. I can't really think of one of his movies that I don't like. Even his like late '90s ones, like his like kind of Fatal Attraction kind of cash-ins. I really like those too. I'm a big fan. Uh, Also, I'm super jealous of his brother. His brother was married to Edwidge Fenech, for reals, and that's crazy. You can find Screamers, Steve. It is on Tubi. So come on into Tubi. Come on down to Tubieville, and
I
you
don't know
can.
why your YouTube stream is so behind, Leaf, because I'm also watching it on YouTube and I'm only maybe like 5 seconds behind the live broadcast.
Hmm.
Maybe they're afraid we'll say something filthy.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it
hope so.
could happen. I think I already did. I said one of the screamers was going to put his finger up your butt. So I mean, maybe that's
Yeah.
why it's so. Oh, by the way, when you look up screamers on Tubi, do not pick the 1996 one, which is real good and it's a Philip K. Dick inspired movie, but it's not that. It's also not the movie #Screamers, uh, but it is the middle one of those. If you type in screamers, you'll tell because it has Barbara Bach swimming in the picture, and you'll be like, "That is gorgeous." That's what you're looking.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Leaf, I don't know if you were in the first segment, but I finally mailed out your prize copy of Lichen Colony. So you should be getting it any day now with a couple of little extra drive-in asylum prizes. So cheers.
Also,
And
I'm going to do a sale pitch here, Bill.
mm-hmm.
If you got movie friends in your life, you want to get them a nice gift, don't forget the Etsy store's open, and now would be the time to order. Until it gets too close to Christmas, and Bill says, "I'm not going to the fucking mail, the post office." Don't make
Yeah,
Bill
there is
go
a
to don't make Bill go to the post office after like the 18th. If you want something cool for your friends, like you know, it makes a lovely gift. And there's a
great
Christmas.
stocking stuffers.
Yeah. Isn't there a Christmas horror issue, Bill? I thought there was one we did.
There is. Somebody
Yeah.
just bought the last issue while we
Mm.
were on the show. But I'll
Oh,
be restocking it, so I'll probably add some more copies tomorrow.
yeah, because I love that Christmas horror issue. And I particularly love the Jaws issue because the trading cards that we did for it are one of my favorite silly things that we did. There's a squint trading card in it. I mean, how can you go wrong? If you like shark movies, that's another issue. Originally, the plan was we were going to take a bite out of every issue. Remember that? We are like dip them in red paint and like bite out part of them.
It
But
was
yeah,
too much commitment.
it was so much commitment.
Speaking of Christmas horror movies, at Facets in Chicago tonight.
Yeah,
It's already over by now, but there was a great event there. First of all, this afternoon there was a presentation of Hatchet for the Honeymoon,
yeah,
hosted by Stephanie Sack, and she's been on the program before. Amazing to see a Bava film on the big screen. I know Lee was gasping online anyway when she saw that they were showing that, and in the evening there was a double feature of Black Christmas and Curtains, featuring an in-person appearance by Lynn Griffin.
oh,
Amazing to just
right.
go meet her and hang out with her and talk to her about the movies. And you may, if you were there, you saw video introductions by yours truly showing ad galleries for each movie. So I hope it was a great time for everybody there. I know there's nobody watching that actually went.
Are you going to share the ad galleries that you did for those anywhere?
Yeah, I'll post them on the
Great.
Groovy
'Cause
Doom.
I'm really looking forward to seeing them. I'm excited about that.
I
'Cause
will.
I
I'll
love,
post them
I
on the
love,
Groovy Doom channel. They're usually okay with me doing that after the
yeah,
event.
yeah. I'm super excited. So, and I'm excited to watch this when we come back. Let us know what you think of it. It's
Screamers.
something. Some screamers.
Yeah.
You will not see a man turned inside out. Also, when you
Yes.
come back, you'll get to see the movie that I got in that I'm so excited about. Um, I have been to the town where this movie is set. That's my tease for you, and it was it was one of the dumbest trips I've ever taken. Um, Lee said, "Next year, I wish we'd take your break in September so we could do some Christmas horror movies together." Oh, maybe we'll do a Christmas horror movie in July this year, Bill, so that people can kind of come back and rewatch a Christmas horror like in December with us. Bill's also super busy in December. This is the time to go to the theater. This is another thing for Bill during this time of year.
I think I just get tired in December.
It's
It's
December's the rough time, yeah.
yeah, it's too much all at once.
Yeah. But by the time you won't miss us at all. By January, you'll be like, "Ah, finally,
I
time to get
know.
back." You get back
This
in
month will
January,
fly by.
yeah, and you'll be like, "Man, can't wait. We'll have something nutty in January. Come watch our Driving Asylum After Dark, where we show 2 porn movies and an Elvis movie after."
I have my porn movie picked out already, but it's probably going to be Score.
Oh, man, I love that movie. It's so good. Yeah, it's really. I was like, wow, this movie is so good. Speaking of Lynn Lowry, in Score, right?
Right?
Yeah, I watched 10 Radley Metzger movies in 2 days, and my wife is not pleased. I've been chasing her around the house. I'm like,
I saw on your page all your
yeah,
Radley
there's even
Metzger
more
movies.
coming up tonight. I put
I
the
wondered how
really,
you were getting away with all that.
I put the really dirty ones up late when people are
Uh-huh.
sleeping, and I didn't publicize them. Because I'm be like, what is this Barbara broadcast? I'm like, only the best movie ever made.
Barbara broadcast.
Yeah. I actually rented that from Heads Together, Bill, and the Heads Together copy has the scene that's cut out of all the other ones. There's a scene that is not in anything after it because it's even today it's too dirty, and yeah, so I bootlegged it from Heads Together. They're out of business now, so I can finally admit that I walked through those barn doors, of Heads Together, the saloon doors, and I rented it.
God, now it has me wondering what it was. What was too dirty that Barbara broadcast could have done? Was it necrophilia? Did she make a crush video? What was too far?
I'll tell you when we come back.
Oh.
No, I'll tell.
Oh.
There's water sports in it, so that
Oh,
gets edited
okay.
out of a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Water sports.
Yeah.
That was the thing that was too far.
Yeah, well, I mean, it gets cut out of stuff. That was like during the Mies Commission stuff that got cut out of everything that was on VHS. And
That's a
that's like how they,
Tuesday for everybody else.
yeah, but that's like how they would use that in the obscenity laws and keep that in it, and they never took it out of it. And that's how the stuff would go through state lines, how they would sue people and try to put people in jail for it, even years after. When you thought like, hey, how could anybody get busted for owning pornography? That's how Barbara Broadcast got busted.
We
It
ran way
is,
over tonight talking about movies, and we're glad that you stayed with us all this time.
yeah. Thanks, guys.
Well,
And we'll be like, it's good now, but it's like when we get here late.
yeah, we we hope you'll come back after the movie. If you don't come back, we hope you will be back after Screamers because we'll have lots to say.
We'll be
We
back.
hope you will too. Yeah, we're going to be here. We're committed. We're in it to win it.